Some of the trends we're seeing is that we're starting to see some really interesting licensing and partnership deals being reached against the backdrop of some very highly contentious litigation across the US, the UK, and the EU in particular.
One of the major trends I see is that everyone's using AI now, really.
On the business side of things, I think we've seen this quite a bit already, and it continues to not only be a trend, but I think it's starting to dominate how we function. It makes our lives really convenient. It's a lot easier to do our day-to-day, and so we're seeing we're seeing companies use it more and more, and so from a legal perspective, that's taking up our time and attention.
It's a big question. There's a lot of important trends right now. There's a lot of new developments, exciting stuff. Some of the biggest ones are the shift to more agentic AI, more autonomous capabilities of AI. This is both cloud-based and local deployments.
Also starting to see how companies are preparing for how to comply with the various new AI laws and regulations that are starting to come into effect worldwide.
Well, there's so many trends that would be too long for this video, I think. You've got trends in lawyers using AI. You've got trends in our clients using AI. You've got the clients, for example, using AI with their internal operations, with HR, and then also with their customers. You've got them developing AI.
Enterprise AI adoption has been really interesting. The large scale kind of enterprise models being used. Also the smaller, more nimble models that are kind of on premises versus being on the cloud, which detracts from these privacy and data security issues. The fact that these autonomous agents can really be adopted on a commercial standpoint versus before being kind of individually used, I think will really set a interesting trend.
Agentic is often used in marketing, and it's defined in various ways, but a lot of times it's when AI systems have the autonomy or the agency to accomplish things for you. So
benefits from the use side of things, that AI is getting better. I mean, we see a lot of AI that is producing wrong results or where it's not so perfect. So with more actors, you have more specialists, so the results are better, but you have more legal risks. It's sometimes difficult to find out who's responsible for whatever legal obligations there are. And the second one is also from the technical aspect. Sometimes it's more difficult to find out, what is the AI really doing? What are the roots? What are the technical details? Sometimes you ask the developer and they might even not know what the training data was because they were not involved.
I could speak to it from a variety of angles, but if we just talk a little bit about the privacy perspective, whenever you're asking a chat bot to do anything, and if you input your information, let's say you're traveling to Austin and you want to go to South by and you'd like to stay over the weekend and include some tourism as well, and then do a number of things with clients. And so you mention the client's names, you give the address of the client, just so that you can consolidate all that information for that agent to then create an itinerary for you. There's quite a bit of personal information that was just inputted.
agentic AI typically has capabilities beyond that. So it could have access to your email so that it can compose emails, can send them, could have access to your finances so that it could handle billing for you. And so the more AI systems can do things, in some ways, the more powerful they are, but also the more risk they create.
They're looking at how to manage the data and the intellectual property aspects of it and the contractual risk around being able to use these systems.
In my area, a lot of the focus is on intellectual property protection around AI, risk mitigation. That goes both to the guardrails piece is an important piece of that, but also the law has been changing in ways that helps protect more aspects of AI-related innovation. Patent space has been shifting toward allowing more patentability of AI-related innovations.
But I think there's going to be a big discussion about regulation and where regulation is going. You're going to see a constant tension between the frenetic pace of AI and AI development and the way companies are trying to deploy AI on one hand, and then regulatory issues on the other, right? How will regulation evolve? Will it evolve at the state level? Is there any chance that there's a federal regulation? So I think this year that tension between regulation and the massive development of AI is really going to be at the forefront. I think AI regulation will probably focus on specific niche areas. So you won't see kind of broad federal or state legislation, I don't think. I think instead it'll target things like deepfakes or AI use in healthcare, AI use in employment and HR. I think that's the most likely path, is targeting these kind of high-risk areas that if there's any consensus in AI, there's certain areas that you view as higher risk, and I think legislation will probably target that.
So I think we're entering the phase where AI is moving from a technology story to an infrastructure story. The models themselves are becoming widely available through providers like OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic. The real differentiation is shifting toward data, applications, and governance. From a legal and commercial perspective, that means companies are now focused less on experimentation and more on how to responsibly deploy AI at scale, how to manage the data, the intellectual property, and the contractual risk around these systems. So now we're at a stage during which generative AI is maturing, agentic AI is on the horizon but poses some major computational resources challenges, and quantum AI is now being modeled.
And so it's a lot to navigate.